Thanks so much for joining us. You know, pretty much all the topics we discuss in this segment are things we learn about through the news media. So once in a while, we like to focus on what's happening within the news media industry that impacts us. And there's no one better to help us do that than our guest, Northeastern University journalism professor Dan Kennedy, author of the Media Nation blog and co-host, along with journalist Ellen Clegg, of What Works? The Future of Local News, a must-listen podcast about solutions to the crisis impacting local news. Professor Kennedy, welcome.
Thank you, John.
So it's been 8 years since you published your book, Return of the Moguls, which was a look at how super-rich individuals, including John Henry at the Globe, Jeff Bezos at the Washington Post, were stepping up to save major newspapers. So Henry and Bezos are still there. Other moguls have come and gone. What have we learned about the potential and the limitations of these mogul saviors?
Well, it turns out that the limitations are pretty significant. Jeff Bezos, after 10 years of really sterling stewardship at the Washington Post, has just started dismantling the Post and has really left it in a shambles, apparently to cozy up to Donald Trump. John Henry and Linda Henry have done quite a good job with the Boston Globe. I think the Globe is doing better than it was when I wrote that book. It appears to be at least marginally profitable. It's growing. But there haven't been many others. There's Glenn Taylor at the Minnesota Star-Tribune, another billionaire sports owner who's done a very good job with his paper. But other than that, we've seen nonprofit hybrids. We've seen, of course, we see a lot of chain-owned dailies. But the idea of civic-minded rich people stepping up really didn't come to pass particularly.
What happens if, heaven forbid, the Henrys decide they've had enough? They're getting out. They're going to sell the Globe. Is there can the ball be kept rolling, or is it endangered?
Yeah, I think that would be really tough. I would hope that what the Henrys might consider doing is donating the Globe to a nonprofit foundation. In fact, I would suggest Northeastern University. But barring that, you know, that's what happened with the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Yeah.
And it's a for-profit daily, but they've done very well under ownership by a nonprofit. And I'd like to see Jeff Bezos do that with the Washington Post, too, but he doesn't seem to be inclined.
Well, now on your podcast with Ellen Clegg, What Works? You two look at hyper-local models for providing community news and bringing water to so-called news deserts. What's the state of play there, particularly locally? Is that taking hold, these hyper-local startups, or not?
We see a lot to be optimistic about. Unfortunately, it tends to be concentrated in affluent suburbs. The places where we have problems, news deserts, are rural areas in particular, not just in Massachusetts, but across the country, and urban communities of color. The other thing that I'm very optimistic about is a lot of nonprofit. But what we really need are new models of for-profit as well. Not everything can be a nonprofit.
I've got to take the break, but any successful for-profit models of this type come to mind offhand, locally?
Yeah, you know, some small ones. I mean, there was a chain of small weeklies in southeastern Massachusetts, Nemasket Week, Wareham Week, a couple of others. Free weekly newspaper distributed around town, free website, advertiser supported. I was just down in my hometown of Middleborough over the weekend and picked up a copy of Nemasket Week loaded with ads. So there are examples of that.
Well, that's good to hear. How was the parade, by the way? Welcoming you back to your hometown. Oh, there was no parade?
There was no parade.
Oh, too bad. All right. Well, we'll see what we can do about that moving forward. And speaking of which, a short break and then more discussion of the state of the media and of free speech with our guest when we return. Stay with us. We're talking about the media this week with our guest, Northeastern University professor Dan Kennedy. And Dan, you, of course, are famous or infamous for the annual Muzzle Awards, which these days are given out periodically during the course of the year, where you honor, and I say that sarcastically, offenders of the right of free speech. And you gave out one recently to Governor Healy. Why?
Governor Healy has proposed a bill that would move vital records out of the public domain and make them hidden away for many, many decades before they're released.
You mean like birth certificates?
Birth certificates, marriage records, death records.
Yeah, okay.
These have been public records going back to Puritan times. Now, for some reason, Governor Healy's predecessor, Charlie Baker, tried to do this and was not successful in doing it. And she's taking another stab at it. I'm not sure why. This would be incredibly harmful to genealogists, to journalism. Jennifer McKim of GBH News has talked about how she's used these records in reporting on the suicide crisis in colleges and universities. I'm hoping that this bill doesn't go anywhere, and I think that what is on our side here is that nothing ever goes anywhere in the legislature, but I've got my fingers crossed.
You drew my attention to something I knew nothing about, that, people think that online content just lives forever. And often that's negative. That thing that happened to me 20 years ago, it still pops up. You drew my attention to the erosion of the news archive kept by, it's called the Wayback Machine, and the threat it poses to journalism. How is it a threat?
It's really a shame what's going on, because link rot is real. Anything out on the open web, eventually you just can't find it. But the Internet Archive for like 25 years has been archiving. Their goal was the entire Internet. And it's a little klutzy to use, but it's all there and it's wonderful. Unfortunately, nearly 400 papers, according to Neiman Lab, local papers, most of them owned by some of the big corporate chains, have made it so that the Internet Archive can no longer scrape their journalism and make it available to researchers, because they're afraid of it being used to train AI bots, and they're not getting any compensation for it.
Isn't that a valid fear?
Yes, it is a valid fear, absolutely. Unfortunately, the very good work that the Internet Archive is doing is getting caught up in this war between news companies and AI.
Is there anything that's good about the media landscape today that AI won't ruin?
There are some minor uses of AI that are actually pretty interesting. The Mid-Coast Villager in Maine uses AI to keep track of public meetings in about 40 communities. Okay. They don't publish the results. They show the results to their journalists and say, okay, go through these and see what deserves to be followed up on. That's a good use, but there aren't very many good uses, and there's a lot of bad uses.
Well, at least one reassuring thing, AI can never replace journalism professors, right?
Well, not before I retire.
I see. Okay, the clock is running. You'll be out before that happens. Good to see you, Dan. Thanks very much for coming by.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
That's Northeastern University journalism professor Dan Kennedy. That's all my time. Now, I'm giving it back over to my colleagues for more WBZ News.